Coach T podcast, and the NFL show is presented by Turner Sports Training, TST.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. You know what time it is? Yeah. You know what time it is? Some people are probably like, what time is it? You know what time it is.
It's showtime.
Here we go, IU. Knock down them free throws now. Let's get it. Okay. Y'all know what I'm watching. Hey, we here. We here again. We here again. Yes, sir. Had a little bit of some connection troubles, but we are here, my friends. So, Hey, fellas, we here. No time to waste. Oh, sorry. Wow. Watching this IU Purdue game, and the shot for Purdue is just rimmed out. IU Hoosiers won 68-65. Indiana, we're all for you. Let's go, man. Just another day at the office for my boys. Hey, how you fellas doing, man? Hicks, Kyle, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, man, doing well over here, thriving, surviving, staying on the grind, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I know exactly that my Eagles got in the playoffs. They took the L, but it was good to see them in there, so I'm just looking forward to the rest of these games.
I love it, man. Yeah, we got some really good games coming up, and we're going to get right to it. We won't even waste you people's time, man. I don't know if anyone knows, we stopped editing this show a long time ago. So we one take, man, like my boy Jay-Z. We are one take Hove right now. So we're going to go right through it, right through these games. We have 31 minutes on the clock, and we're going to get through the 4 games in round 2 of the NFL playoffs. So first matchup we have, this is a 3:30 kickoff. Let me actually pull that up, because I want to make sure I'm tidy with that type of stuff. So this is 3:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. This is on Saturday, January 22nd. This is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans here, they are 3.5-point favorites at home. 47 is the over-under. Some trends here in their last 5 games. Cincinnati has covered the spread every single time in those 5 games. Tennessee in their last 8 home games, they've won 7 of them. Total has gone over in 7 of Cincinnati's last 8 matchups when they play Tennessee, the Titans in Tennessee. So, fellas, without further ado, let's pick the winner. Kyle, I will have you begin.
So I think all 4 of these games are going to be really, really good. It's the Elite 8. It's the last 8 teams. Every team's great. Every team's it's all going to come down from me for really just execution. It's not going to be necessarily the best game plan, who has the best athlete, players, things like that. I think it's literally just going to come down to execution. Saying that, with the Titans, they have Derrick Henry back. The Bengals D-line seems to be a little beat up. I think the guy like Derrick Henry going against a beat-up D-line, that's scary. That's really scary. As much as I don't like the Titans, I think I'm going to pick the Titans to beat the Bengals. Even though I do love the Bengals, I think they're super talented. The Bengals will be back in this type of game probably next year and the years to come. But I think the Titans take, especially since it's in Tennessee, I think the Titans going to take this one.
You know, a lot of people around here, I'm in Louisville, of course, and Cincinnati's right up the street, tons of Bengals fans here. So a lot of people are excited about this game around here. And Joe Burrow, Chase, Mixon, that whole trio, that's, of course, looking like a team of the future. I think they have a strong team, but also I just think that Tennessee, being a really veteran team, being a team that has been in the playoffs a bunch, and then having a quarterback who is going to know what to do in those last few moments of the game. Because I want to say that Tannehill is like up there for fourth quarter comebacks, actually. So in the last season or so. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think that the Titans also getting Derrick Henry back is huge, because it just helps you control the pace. Mm-hmm. And in these playoff games, the pace is what matters. That last 3 or 4 minutes, who can either hold the ball or who can go down and score. So I'm going to go with Titans as well.
I love it, man. I'm going to go with, are we all 3 of us going with the Titans? That can't be right.
What it sounds like.
Oh Lord, man. Well, you guys know I'm yes, what it sounds like. I'm almost forced to go. I don't know what feedback that is. Sorry, guys. I'm hearing that. You guys hear that as well?
Yeah, I do hear it. I hear it. Yeah, I do.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta join forces, I guess. I mean, and mainly me, Coach T, and I'm gonna say I have to join forces with you guys because I picked the Tennessee Titans to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I clearly have them winning this matchup. Although I do think that Cincinnati is going to give them a nice little battle. I love the fact that Derrick Henry is back. Hicks, you said it. He will be able to control the pace, control the game, slow some things down, not have as much pressure on the shoulders of a Ryan Tannehill, who, you know, has definitely resurrected his career from his earlier start in Miami, and now he's in Tennessee. But he could, his ugly game career is ugly head. Let's put it that way. At any time. So I think having Derrick Henry there definitely stabilizes him and stabilizes the team. With Cincinnati, I think they can give Tennessee a nice little battle because Cincinnati can score. I mean, they got a dynamic quarterback. And, you know, this quarterback is early in his career. Speaking of Joe Burrow, Joe Cigar, I like to call him. Who's to say in 5-10 years from now, he's got a couple Super Bowls? You know, that wouldn't be out of the question. He's that type of talent. So I'm going to keep it short. We are short on time. I'm rocking with Tennessee. Tennessee, they are what, 3-point favorites at home? 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. I like Tennessee to win, and I like Tennessee to cover, and I'm riding them out all the way through the Super Bowl. So let's get it done, fellas. All right, second game, we have the San Francisco 49ers. They are visiting the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers down in Lambeau Field. This game here, this is the nightcap for Saturday. 7:15 Central kickoff. Packers at home, they are 5.5-point favorites. 47 is the over-under. San Francisco in the last 6 games, they've won 5 of them, and they've covered the spread in 5 of them as well. Green Bay in their last 5 games at home, they won them all. In their last 8 games at home, speaking of the Packers, they have covered the number 7 of those times. So with all that said, fellas, let's pick the winner.
Yeah, this one's gonna be easy for me. I've been shouting it all year long. I was shouting it preseason. A-Rod, baby, take them to the promised land. I got the Packers in the Super Bowl, so I obviously got them winning this game. And you don't gotta tell me the spread. I don't care. They gonna cover.
Ooh, talk your talk. Hicks, what you got?
Okay, well, I mean, it's crazy. Think about the beginning of the season and Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
how far we have come.
Now,
how the tables have turned.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
It don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something just tells me.
Go for it, big dog.
That. No, I don't want to go against Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna go Packers.
I love it, man. Yeah, for me, we all can't be on the same boat, man. This is crazy, but yeah, the quarterback matchup is what holding me back, you know. And I think there is a great disparity. It goes without saying between Jimmy G and A-Rod. So Aaron Rodgers, who could any day now be announced as the NFL MVP this season, he is red hot. He's on fire. He's in fuego, and he's at home. And I don't know what their record is. I know we've mentioned on this show before, just their home record with Aaron Rodgers over his career is darn near untouchable, unfazed, impeccable.
Can I change my pick?
You can change your pick. You're going with the 49ers?
I just remembered something. The Packers always lose to the 49ers in the playoffs. They lost to Colin Kaepernick. They lost a few years ago to Jimmy G.
They did.
They did say that.
In San Francisco.
Niners.
Okay.
I'm going Niners. Niners.
Hey, I respect you for that. I'm glad we finally got a switch up. Okay. That makes me feel better. So, Kyle, you're going with Green Bay. Hicks, you're going with the 49ers. Coach T, I am going with Green Bay as well and Aaron Rodgers. Look, you can tell me about all the little, hey, he don't win against San Fran. in the playoffs, yada yada. Last time they played, it was the NFC Championship, and that was in San Francisco. This time around, which could be the last dance, as they mentioned it before the season, with Aaron Rodgers in the Packers uniform, which, by the way, I'm starting to think that maybe he comes back for another year. I think they give him a nice little contract. That goes without saying. I think that Green Bay has a legitimate shot to represent in the NFC, or for the NFC in the Super Bowl. So this is another pick where I'm not going against myself. I picked Green Bay when Kyle asked that question last week of, the updated, hey, who do you think is going to make the Super Bowl? And I think Green Bay it's a walk in the park. I really do. I think the only one that can give them any threat is one of the next two teams that we'll talk about, LA or Tampa Bay. But in terms of the 49ers, I don't think they have a match here. 49ers quiet as kept. Yeah, they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys never really show up in the playoffs, yada, yada. But at the same time, you look at that second half of that game between the 49ers and the Cowboys, the 49ers didn't play so hot. Like, they got a great start in the first half. Second half, they almost blew that game. And if they play anything like they did in the second half, in this matchup against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, I'm not rolling with it, bro. So I'm all the way Green Bay. If I lose this game because Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great game, when the defense got a little soft, they turned into a marshmallow, got soft in the middle, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going against Green Bay, and I'm definitely not going against Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs in a situation where he don't have too many years left, especially in the Green Bay jersey. So let's ride him out. I'm going Green Bay. Kyle, you're going Green Bay, and we both are going against Hicks, who's taking the 49ers. All right, second to last matchup, just that quick. I told you guys, man, it's only 4 games, man, in the Elite 8, like Kyle said. So, every game is obviously a monumental, there's only so many big games left. So, this would be a Sunday matchup, and this is another rematch here. Speaking of rematches, this is the LA Rams visiting, which is important, I think, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. The line here, we have Tampa Bay as a short favorite at home. They are 3-point favorites. 48 is the over-under. This game is on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And this is obviously the NFC divisional game in the divisional round. Some trends here. Tampa Bay in their last 12 home games, they've won 11 of them, people. Very hard to beat at home. We saw that shellacking of the Eagles. Sorry, Hicks, last week. So, I mean, they're tough at home. We're talking about the Bucs here. LA in their last 5 games on the road against Tampa Bay, however, they have covered the number 5 times. And remember, this is only a 3-point spread here. So if the LA Rams, that trend continues, they cover the number. Some could argue that they're going to win the games. They cover that number of 3. And the total has gone over in 5 of the last 5 games when these two teams play each other. Just think about that. All right, so with that being said, let's do it, fellas. Divisional round, NFC, Rams versus Tampa Bay. Let's pick the winner.
Hey, yeah, man, this is going to be a fantastic game. I've been on the Matt Stafford train all year long. I mean, the man's a video game. I mean, the numbers that he was putting up in Detroit, that just shows right there, that as much as he didn't make the playoffs one time, or at least didn't get a playoff win, he was still balling out, in somewhere like Detroit. So when he's in LA, he's got weapons. They've been a little, I guess you could say, inconsistent, but I think overall they've been playing great ball. Have a great coaching staff. Have a great quarterback. Have a great roster. They're not Tom Brady. I mean, as much as I do think the Rams can win this game, I'm going to pick the Bucs. I have learned my lessons from picking against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Saying that's probably going to change next week because I still think the Packers will win. But saying that, I'm going to pick the Bucs for this game, just specifically because, again, I don't want to bet against Tom Brady for something like this. But I think the Rams are a great team. I think it'll be a great game. And honestly, I would not be surprised if Bucs win, but the Rams cover 3.5 points. I think it's a 1-2 point game.
Man, it's hard to bet against Tommy Boy, and I'm a Tommy fan. And but I think the Rams are going to take this game, and I think that because their defensive pressure, like they got 4 dudes who have, been like led the NFL in sacks before them there, so they're just going to be able to bring a lot of pressure. They between like Von Miller, Fowler, Clowney, Aaron Donald. It's just too much. Then Jalen Ramsey hits like a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's too much, and that's the way you beat Tom Brady. Matter of fact, I think they're kind of built to beat Tom Brady. I think this team is built to beat the great quarterback. So I'm gonna go Rams.
All right, so yeah, I like it, man. It is scary going against Tommy Boy, Benjamin Buttons, as I like to call him. So Hicks, you're going with the Rams. Kyle, you are going with Tampa Bay, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now I vowed that I was going to stop saying but again, I mean, this is one take for us. We record and we shoot it out. Like, it's the way it's going. So you're going to hear a couple from me. With that being said, I'm going to go with, well, let me hold this off, okay? We got 15 more minutes, so I can spend about 5, or we can spend about 2 or 3 minutes finishing this up. How do the Rams win? I think Hicks mentioned it. They beat up Tom Brady. They get after him. They force the ball out of his hands quickly, and they rally and tackle quickly, which they have the athletes to do. How does Tampa Bay win? I think playoff Lenny, who's Leonard Fournette, I think he's back in this matchup. I think he could have came back last week if they needed him against the Eagles, but sorry, Hicks. I guess they figured they didn't need him against the Eagles. They needed him in this matchup potentially. Now we're here. So if playoff Lenny is back for Tampa Bay, that gives them a nice little touch in the running game. Mike Evans had a nice game last week, so I think he's back. Gronk had a really good game last week. And with those two guys, yeah, you don't have Antonio Brown, you don't have Chris Godwin out with the ACL, but they have enough firepower, especially with Tom Brady. Think about the guys he had in New England, right? Yeah, he had Gronk, and Gronk is obviously here in this matchup. But other than that, I mean, you kind of had, I don't want to say pedestrian, but you had, your prototypical New England receivers. Not guys that would no one's going to pick as a number 1 pick in the draft, but they got guys that are just serviceable. Maybe a little above serviceable if you talk about Julian Edelman and guys like that. But, good players that I think with Tampa Bay, they got a couple of Perryman. I know he's there with them. They got another cat, I think they drafted from Minnesota a few years ago. I think he's with them. Maybe Robert Johnson. I think that's his name. It's escaping me, but they have enough talent, Tampa Bay, to do what they need to do with a quarterback like Tom Brady, because you don't need too much. So how do the Tampa Bay Bucks win? I think they control the game. They have more of a 50-50 run pass type of deal. They're not dropping back every play because they don't want Aaron Donald and those guys that try to get after Tom Brady. They're able to mix in some screens. They're able to run the ball efficiently, do all those things. Don't turn the ball over. Do all those things that you typically ask for to win a national football game. And I think if it comes down to the end, I'm thinking this is a close game because, again, Tampa Bay is only a 3-point favorite at home. If it's a close fourth quarter game, who makes that last play? Are we talking about Matt Stafford, former Detroit quarterback that just won his first playoff game in his entire career, a career of about 12, 13 years, the first one he's won just last week? Are we talking about Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl rings, has more playoff wins, almost double than all these teams combined? Think about that. And he's actually older than some of the coaches that he's facing. I think every coach in the divisional rounds besides probably Andy Reid and probably one other, but especially in the NFC, I mean, he's older than those guys. He's older than Sean McVay. He's older than Shanahan. So you looking, I mean, he is a veteran. It goes without saying what he can do in the type of pedigree he has. All that said, look, fellas, I think it's going to be a close game. And if it's a fourth quarter game, I'm not going with a quarterback that has won one playoff game in the last decade and a half. I'm not. But who I am rolling with, I'm rolling with Benjamin Buttons. I'm rolling with the cat I can trust on, and I can roll with. Don't matter who we got lining up with him. Don't matter receivers, running back. It don't matter. Tom Brady's gonna get it done because that's what he does, and that's what he's built to do, and that's why he is the GOAT. So with being the GOAT, I'm gonna ride the GOAT. I'm gonna go with Benjamin Buttons at home. And again, in their last 12 home games, Tampa Bay, they do not lose. They've only lost one home game in the last 12 home games. So I know the Rams beat them earlier this year. That was in LA. It's a little bit different down in Florida with the elements, right? Just being outside, something a little different. Matt Stafford's used to the bowl. He's used to the dome. That's what he's used to. So I'm gonna chalk it up here, man. I'm gonna say I'm going with the 7-time Super Bowl winner again, Benjamin Buttons. I'm riding it out, man. Old man Brady. Let's do our thing, man. All right, last matchup. This is our Sunday night tip-off. It's going to be a wonderful game. I'm telling you guys right now, maybe the best game. Between these last two games, I think those are going to be the best two games. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills visiting the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. The line here, if I could pull this up, you have, yes, the Chiefs at home, another short favorite. Again, divisional round. You expect that. The Chiefs at home are 2.5-point favorites here. 53.5 is the over-under, by far the highest over-under total on the board. This is a 5:30 Central Time kickoff, so it's actually happening a little bit earlier than what I would imagine, but that's going to be good, man. We're able to get some sleep that night. Here with the trends, Buffalo in their last 5 games overall, they've covered their spread 4 times and they won all 5. Kansas City in their last 5 games at home, they've covered the spread all 5. And a total in the last 5 games for Kansas City in general have gone over. So, fellas, last game of the divisional round, which I think this matchup will be the best one in our nightcap on Sunday and our weekend cap. Hey, last one. Let's pick the winner.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a tough one, man. I mean, I don't know what it is. I feel like everyone is expecting the Chiefs to win, but I feel like everyone is betting on the Bills. It's not very often the Bills are underdogs. Man, this is tough. It's Arrowhead. I mean, it's the Chiefs. It's still the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going as hot as ever. I mean, they got hot at the right time. They've been in the in the AFC Championship last 2-3 years. I want to pick the Bills so freaking bad.
What's holding you back?
Gut, man. What's
holding you back?
But I picked
holding you back,
man. Honestly, what's holding back is Patty Mahomes, man. Is that if you still look at that roster, dude? I mean, and really, I understand everyone thought the Chiefs were dead. I was saying it. I was absolutely saying it. That the Chiefs were dead, and for like half the first the first half of the year, they've just completely picked it up. They've got hot as ever. They've done what the Chiefs do, and they get down in the beginning, come back at the end, and go insane. Saying that, I'm gonna go.
Hey, wait! You said you picked every favorite.
I have.
The Chiefs are the favorite here.
They are. I'm aware. Forget it. I'm gonna go the Bills. I'm gonna do it. I got the Bills. I think they'll do it. The Chiefs can't make it every year, right? They can't do it every year. Let's go Bills. Year. Let's go Bills Mafia, baby. Hey, let's jump through those tables. Let's chug them beers and let's get it.
Man, I want to see some tables broke to go to the Super Bowl. That would be lovely. But it ain't going to happen. And they definitely ain't going to let them break a table in Kansas City. Because they're going to have barbecue on their tables. And they don't want any of that meat or sauce hitting the ground.
Oh, too good, man. Two finger licking good, man. Can't waste that.
Break a table in Kansas City, they're going to be ready to break a face. So, with that being said, man, dog. Patrick Mahomes. We're looking at a young Bron type, a young GOAT in action. Is he a Brady? No. But he's something different. He got it. I think that playoff Mahomes, there hasn't been a lot of games where he himself has just had to win. He's had a great team pretty much, the whole time that he's been playing. He still has a lot of good players, but this is a time where he can step up and show who Patrick Mahomes is, regardless of whoever else is playing. So I think that happens. I think we see some GOAT action go down. Not GOAT, baby GOAT. But and I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I love it, man. I'm gonna go with, I will say this game definitely goes over if you're into that type of thing. Okay. Highest total on the board for a reason. Last 5 games for Kansas City overall have gone over for a reason. And this is gonna be I don't know, how do they say it? It's gonna be a fought, clawed, tooth and nail into the end in this matchup. I don't see either team really being able to stop either team. That makes sense. Until the very end, where I think one team's going to get an important stop. I don't know how that stop is going to happen. I don't necessarily know who it will be. I really can't even anticipate who I think it will be, who gets that stop. But one thing I can anticipate is the fact that a lot of points will be scored, and the fact that one of these quarterbacks, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys help me out. Did the Bills and the Chiefs, didn't they match up last year in the playoffs?
I think they did, if I can remember right. I think so.
I think so.
I think the Bills beat the Colts first round to face the Chiefs.
Okay, let me see that. Somebody can look that up. I'm typing it in now. 2021 playoffs. Yes, January 24th of 2021, the Chiefs won at home, same type of matchup in Kansas City, 38-24. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. A lot of points going to be scored here. Chiefs, and that was a game where the Bills actually started at the end of the first quarter. They were up 9 points, 9-0. Okay, the Chiefs were down at home early, and then Mahomes went crazy, and the Chiefs went crazy and scored 21 points in the second quarter. Then they never really looked back from there. So I think this game is going to be similar in terms of points scored, in terms of who's going to win the game and how it's going to play out. I just have a little more faith. Gosh, this is tough.
Mm-hmm.
This is tough. You know what? You know what? I'm going to ride the big dog, man. I rolled him last week. I said he's going to run the ball about 10 to 15 times. He didn't do that, but he was efficient with the runs. And I said he's going to throw about 2 touchdowns. He doubled that number and went with 4. And I don't think the elements here affect either team. Obviously, Kansas City, they're used to it. And the Bills, they're definitely used to the inclement weather, coming from Buffalo, going to Kansas City. So I don't know what the weather's necessarily going to be like, but I think it matches both of these teams, and I don't think it affects them at all. Not negatively, at the very least. It doesn't affect them. So that big boy I'm talking about is Josh Allen. I think this is a revenge game from last year. They were knocked out of the playoffs, same team, same scenario. And they were actually up, like I mentioned. First quarter, they were up almost double digits in that game last year and then blew it. I think if they're up this year in that same situation, I think they hold on to the lead. And I think there's a great possibility that the Bills could be up early on in this game. I just think Josh Allen is playing that well. And if Josh Allen wants to solidify, because he's perked our interest, but if he actually wants to solidify being a top 5 quarterback, this is a game he needs to get it done. This is the matchup he needs to get it done. And this is the other quarterback on the opposing side he needs to get it done against. So I'm riding you, big dog. This is, to me, I'm not really into the legacy, yada, yada, and all that, but my boy Josh Allen gets it done here. This is definitely a signature legacy type of win. And I'm banking on the fact that he gets it done. And I love him with Stephon Diggs. And I don't know if Beasley is playing, but they have Emmanuel Sanders. They just got a couple cats, man. They got some guys that can roll, and then their defense, lo and behold, talking about the Bills here, their defense has improved drastically from last year. So I don't think the defense, this will be a defensive game. I don't think that by any means, but I think we talked about who makes that last stop when they need it the most. I think the Bills have the possibility of doing that. So I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking Josh Allen. I'm taking who's their coach, McDermott. I'm taking their offensive coordinator, who is the Brian Daboll. I'm taking Emmanuel Sanders. I'm taking who's the other receiver I just talked about, Diggs. I'm taking Singletary, who's my fantasy running back. Kind of screwed me this year, but hopefully it's a good game here. And I'm taking that defense for the Bills that over the entirety of the year, they have done a much better job of being able to slow down teams. I think they slow down the Chiefs here and they send the Chiefs home packing, literally. So that's it, fellas. You guys got anything else you want to say with this game or any of those other matchups you want to talk about?
No, man, I would just say, it's playoff football. Again, we're in that Elite 8. We will, we're what, 2 weeks away from knowing who's going to be in the Super Bowl, 2-3 weeks. So
no, we know who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I already said it's going to be the Packers and the Titans. I already said that.
I see. So because in my original thing, I thought it was going to be the Bills and the Packers, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But I will say that I actually am changing that from last week. I did say the Patriots would be in the Super Bowl. That was probably
it's kind of hard for them to be in the Super Bowl now.
Hey, But again, I was self-handicapping, because I hate the Patriots. So, I thought it was a safe bet, but it's all good. I'm adjust a little bit. Now I'm going to say the Bills and the Packers will now be my Super Bowl. I believe it's going to happen. Appreciate all you guys out there listening, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And I can't wait. I think it will be in the AFC and NFC Championship.
Yeah, Hicks, you got to make your picks for Super Bowl. Your live and updated picks. Who makes the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna say Rams and Chiefs.
Rams, Chiefs. Okay. It's a nice
Okay.
little matchup. Truth be told, if any of these teams play in the Super Bowl or match up against each other, I think it'll be a phenomenal game. Like, there's not one team in the playoffs right now currently you're like, that team is kind of stank. Like, I don't know how they still here. Ain't none of that. All these teams exciting. All these teams perform. For the most part, they perform, like they should be, a top team over the course of the entire season. And it's continued to this point. So, Hicks, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I'm ready for the Super Bowl. It was a great season. NFL just gets better and better every year. Just reloaded with more athletes. This year, we had like a lot of kind of off the field storylines, and there's not as many. There's so many startup quarterbacks and stuff that we're still kind of building storylines. It's not that those same old rivalries or like the days of Manning versus Brady, but it's going to be some great football. I'm real excited to see it, and been having a good time doing this show, and I appreciate everybody listening to it. And yeah. Ready to rock and roll for next time.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll, man. I'm definitely ready to rock and roll this playoff weekend, which is, again, the divisional round with these 8 matchups, the Elite 8. Kyle, I really love that, man. Taking a little basketball turn and put it into the football side. So these are the Elite 8 teams right here. And there's no question about it, man. And these are, if you look at them, besides, I'm trying to think if anyone else is in that quarterback conversation. I mean, these to me are the Elite 8 quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, you got Brady, you got Stafford. Who else you got? You got Jimmy G, right? I don't know if he's elite or not, but playing with that team, they continue the way they played last week. They can be elite. You got Josh Allen, of course. So you got some really talented quarterbacks. And to me, this is what separates these teams from the pack. The fact that they actually, Aaron Rodgers, speaking of the pack, these teams have solidified themselves as being the better teams, the elite teams this year. And a lot has to do with the fact that, they have really good quarterback play. And I think defense will play a role. I think that goes without saying. Defense and run game, we talking playoffs, that's got to matter to some extent with these games. And I think that shows itself in these playoffs and this divisional, Elite 8 round. So fans, continue to support, continue to love us. Continue to shoot this out, man. If you guys like what we do, like, subscribe, do all that, which we love, but also shoot it out to a friend or